It's a show that's celebrating Blue October. Hear me out. Hear me out. Blue October. The blue teams are playing really well. That's all I'm going to say. The blue teams are on
Explain
fire.
more, Adam, please. Explain
Well,
more.
well, there's some people in the state I'm at that like to call things Red October
Oh,
because
yes.
of the Phillies, but they're now out in unbelievable fashion. Like I
Well,
was. What you're a Mets fan, so you're gonna be biased in what you have to say. I have no ill will towards the Phillies, but
I have definitely. Well, my point
yeah.
is they keep saying Red October. I remember like one good playoff run. They made the World
Hmm.
Series, and I think they've been living off of that for like years now. Of
Yeah.
don't let us get in there. We
I
overperform in the playoffs, and I haven't seen it since that one
I'm
time.
assuming now I don't know because like this was when we were young, but I'm assuming this started in 08, 09. Like because they won the World
When they
Series then went
won.
back. So I think it was
But I
probably
don't
the
I don't think that counts 18
no,
years
yeah.
later, 15 years
No,
later. So
that's true.
I'm just waiting for this whole Red October thing
No,
to really be more than just a one-time
it's
thing.
true, but the reason I called it Blue October because Chris, it's time to start spreading the news that the Blue Jays are in the ALCS.
Oh, yes, yes.
Frank Sinatra can't save you now, buddy. Okay, you heard that song once. Congratulations, gentlemen sweep. How nice of the Blue Jays to hand you a game, take Bieber out early just to give you one, so then they can show how a bullpen game's truly supposed to work. So the Blue Jays are in the ALCS. Don't know how that's going to go, but they're in the ALCS. They await the winner of the Tigers and the Mariners, but I had to throw the Blue Jays in there. It's been a very fun week. I was at game 2. That's why we didn't record on Monday. One of the best experiences of my life.
Yeah,
So,
our first missed upload was really sad to see happen. We
well,
apologize for the inconvenience.
we tried to get Sketch to fill in for me. I was on cloud 9 eating at Chuck's Roadhouse with a good friend Ben Palillo in Canada, watching the Bills Patriots game. Also watching Mariners Tigers after the Blue Jays won 13-7 off of Vlad Guerrero Jr. grand salami. But no, it was a lot of fun for me. And then of course that carried over into Monday when the Jags upset the Chiefs on Monday night. The
Yeah.
Prince that was promised with the big drive. I had a great this. I needed that, Chris, because I mean after the Saturday I had in college football, I really, really
Yeah.
needed that pro sports weekend. So we have it held on. So it's been fun. But nah, it's time to lock back in. I know there's going to be someone in the comments that's going to clown the hat. Like, oh, Penn State. Yeah. I'm sorry, I was at a hockey game. So it's but
Well, if they're an Eagles fan, then they can't do much talking
yeah.
because we're recording early on this Thursday night, and this will be uploaded on Friday. But I was thinking, all right, Eagles might just slap the Giants, so that
Mm-hmm.
we're gonna get to record early. Who would have thought the Giants come out and smack the Eagles? Eagles are right now they're losing by 17. Last time I checked, I think we're pretty safe to say the game's over.
Giants have the ball, so yeah.
Giants have the ball. Jaxson Dart looks amazing. Cam Scadaboo is phenomenal. 3 touchdowns, at least up to this point. I think he's probably going to... I think reserves are probably be in at this point. Eagles had a solid offensive game until they could not do anything else, and the Giants never stopped. Adam, I know you had a busy Thursday, but here's how I'll explain today's game. The Giants score. Giants score. The Eagles start to like turn on their offense. You know, they usually do nothing until they kind of have to.
Mm-hmm.
They turned off for a little bit, and then it hit halftime, and then they came out of halftime, not able to do much. Their best offense was 4 straight tush pushes. I don't want to do another short on the tush push, so we don't have to go into it again. But it was 4 straight tush pushes that got into the end zone for a touchdown. And there was a false start in at least one of them that they're just not calling because they can't tell. I think this play is 100% getting banned going into next year because of this false start. It wasn't really an issue until this year, at least that they're showing it.
Mm-hmm.
So I think this is the last year of it. I think it's a good thing. I think the Eagles are going to abuse it until they can't.
Yeah, I mean, this is like I came in with this analogy because I saw your text. You were complaining about it. We have a group chat. Joe Tooman, Sketch Morton are in it as well. You must have been like the only one like truly watching this game because you sent that text and no one responded. I couldn't say anything.
Wow,
Like,
Adam, thanks for mentioning that. My
well, no,
God, sounds terrible.
I told you where I was. I'm assuming they're probably watching the baseball game. They're Phillies fans, so I'm assuming they're
Yeah.
probably watching the baseball game. But yeah, I was like, I saw the text. I'm like, oh, but I said this is my comparison was so you really like rice cakes. I remember when we were in.
I love me some rice cakes. I had one today.
I said this would be like if I told you at the end of the year you can never eat a rice cake again. What are you gonna do? you're going to eat a bunch of rice cakes here on out. You're not just going to say, let's just go cold turkey now. Might as well just stop now because it's not going to be able to be a thing in the future. So the Eagles are basically just going to say, look, it's going to get banned. I feel like everyone knows that, especially now that they're pointing out the league's going to come in to say you can't officiate it, so we can't have that in our game.
Yeah.
They'll at least change the formation, move everyone back. I think don't allow you to line near the quarterback so you can't really push them. But yeah, I said, so they're just going to keep doing it. So, I mean, and if credit to them. I mean, if you can't stop it, might as well just keep doing it. So, and if they're not going to call it, it's kind of like a hand check in basketball, where if they're not going to call the hand check, you're going to hand check, and then if they call it, you have to adjust. So,
yeah. Well, besides the tush push, the Eagles just did have another miserable game. They showed some signs of life, but they could not stop the Giants at all. Their secondary is really struggling against a Giants team that doesn't really have a number one receiver without Malik Neighbors, so it was kind of surprising to see that. And offensively, their only real source of offense was Dallas Goedert, who had the game of his life. And then you have A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith look decent, but they're not being used the same. And Saquon just cannot get anything going this year. The offensive line isn't as good, so, I mean, I think that's part of it, but he is an older running back coming off of a historically great season, so you're expecting some regression anyways, but that's now 2 losses in a row. Last week, I know everyone was crying about the refs, whatever. This game was not the refs. This was rookie Jaxson Dart in his 3rd start coming in and owning you, and Cam Scadaboo coming in there with more confidence than Jalen Hurts, A.J. Brown, Saquon Barkley coming off a Super Bowl win. There is a problem right now in Philadelphia. They have to figure out how to make this talent look like it did last year where they were actually kicking butt. Right now, they were just slithering by, just winning games. And last week, they had a 2-hour meeting to figure out what this team needs. They didn't figure it out, Adam. They did not figure it out. Maybe 2 hours wasn't enough. I don't know. But the Eagles are broken.
Yeah, I mean, it's not looking good. I think you made some good points there. They'll have a long week, and then they get the Vikings on the road, so not an easy game coming out of this for them either. I know they're banged up. The offensive line's had some injuries. They're moving pieces around. Jordan Davis or Jalen Carter didn't play. One of the two didn't play.
Jalen Carter.
Yeah, Jalen Carter.
Jordan Davis did actually dap up Jaxson Dart and Cam Scadaboo mid-game.
Well, there you go.
He was a gamer. It was randomly out of respect.
Jaxson Dart makes sense to me because Dart's Ole Miss guy, SEC. Jordan Davis, of course, from Georgia.
He went to dap up Dart, and then Cam Scadaboo came over after a little brother. It was me too, bro. And then there was one point Jaxson Dart got hurt for one drive, and Cam Scadaboo followed him into the tent to make sure he was okay, and they kicked him out. And then Brian Dable tried getting into the tent, and they were like, no. So it was funny that Russ came in. First play handoff, second play, a pass that went 5 yards into the grass near no one, just awful pass, and the fans immediately start booing. Yeah. And I was like, Russ just looks cooked. Russ the whole game was talking to Dable and Dart, and it's sit down. You're not playing. No one wants you.
Well, hold up. Don't tell him to sit down because maybe he's starting his next career. Maybe he's trying to get into coaching in that, and he's talking, and he's seeing things. You do realize there's a lot of guys who really struggle towards the end of their career, but they can still see it, and they can still understand what to do and help young quarterbacks out. Like Tony Romo is one of the best color commentators in the league. At the end of his career, he wasn't that guy.
He has his helmet on the whole game, Adam.
Well, he had to. If Jaxson Dart gets hurt, he has to go in again.
Was hurt, but just the whole game, here's the thing. If it was anyone else, I would not care.
Yeah.
But because it's Russell Wilson, he's I'm ready, coach, and it's no one wants you.
Maybe
the fans are in love with Jaxson Dart. Jaxson Dart looks like literally Hercules on the thumbnail.
I don't think he's trying to get his job back right now. I think he knows what's happening.
Bothers me, Adam. You know everything about him, how he is bothers me.
Yeah, I know, and I don't really get it.
Do you know who doesn't bother me?
Who?
Jaxson Dart. The only issue with Jaxson Dart is that he does not realize how valuable he is, and he just dives headfirst into the defense. Kind of like Josh Allen, how Josh Allen will try to stiff arm or truck a linebacker, and it usually works. Jaxson Dart today was running for the first down. He was jumping. He was it looked like he might even get to the line of scrimmage, but he stays in, and then he leaped sideways to get the first down. I think they said he got it, and he dove into a defender. No regard for his safety. I respect it. Obviously, this isn't something that you want going forward. You want to be, safe, whatever. But it is fun to watch. It is awesome. And that leads to things like him being out for a drive. But Jaxson Dart saving the New York Giants. Cam Scadaboo has been an amazing running back that, there were more questions about him coming out of college and Genty, even though they were both amazing. But he's been the better guy. And their receivers against Lil Jordan Humphrey against the Eagles was looking like a receiver one. It was just
Yeah.
weird how bad that secondary was today.
Yeah, I was gonna say now. First of all, I said this early in the year that the Eagles had a secondary problem, especially because Quinyon Mitchell didn't play today. And when you lose him, I mean, you lose basically everything in that back end. But the one thing I want to say, the disrespect to Lil Jordan Humphrey in your open, saying they didn't have a number one receiver. Lil Jordan Humphrey's that guy. I love my boy Lil Jordan Humphrey. I was looking at the box score. I'm like, Lil Jordan Humphrey was their leading receiver. I'm like, he's still in the league. I said,
I know.
Attaboy. I
I
love
know.
that guy. But no, but what I was trying to get to is pump the brakes on Scattaboo. I mean, I know you don't like to watch your Saints, but he's the reason the Saints won the game last week. So I mean, and he needed a new gloves. He's like, get me new gloves. Like
That was
I,
a little ridiculous.
I
That was a
saw,
baby move.
I saw
That
someone.
was a baby move.
This,
But I did
this,
actually see that, Adam, and guess what? I picked the Saints to win, did I not?
yes, you did, and you still lost a game on the week. How
I
about
did, but
that?
hey, my upset pick was right, baby.
Yeah,
Titans to
you
beat
were.
the Cardinals.
You know, you wouldn't have lost a game in the game picks if you would have picked the Titans to win the game outright.
We didn't discuss this on Sunday, but the Titans had two of the luckiest plays I've ever seen.
Yes, yes.
DeMercado dropping the ball at the goal line, and also the Cardinals picking off the ball, and then the defender untouched goes to the ground, fumbles the ball, and then multiple players try to pick it up and boot it into the end zone for the Titans to then jump on and score a touchdown. Also, the fumble by the Cardinals snaps the ball off of Kyler's face for no reason, really. It doesn't seem like there was any reason that happened. And then no one on the Cardinals jumped on the ball, and then the Titans ended up with it. So I didn't expect that to happen, but that actually got me back in this whole upset pick with me being aggressive.
And Kyler, I think, got hurt off that snap too. I think he missed time.
They said
that.
it was a foot injury, but people thought he might have been concussed because it got it off his face.
He looked out. Now, granted, when you get a snap to the face, even if you're not concussed, you'll probably be a little out of it right after it happened. You'll be like, what just happened? Because like he didn't immediately jump on the ball, so I think he was like a little confused.
But
but
there
yeah,
were multiple people looking at the ball, and the Titans were the only ones that seemed to really want it.
You mentioned the interception, fumble, touchdown that the Titans got. That brings me into a point I want to talk about because, like, of course, the Jags beat the Chiefs. I'm really going to hone in on this. This doesn't happen a lot, okay? But Trevor, of course, on the game-winning play, got his foot stepped on, fell, got back up, fell again, and then got back up and ran in. So it's allowed a lot of people to start to question, should they get rid of the whole you have to be contacted rule? Because, like, if you don't have to be contacted, it's not a fumble in the Cardinals game. Trevor's immediately down, which I could see an argument for. As a Jags fan, I loved it. I mean, you should have saw it was the whole no, oh my God, yes. But it was one of those. But like there is now, I see a little bit of people pushing now for them to get rid of the whole you have to be touchdown, and if you actually go down, you're down. So what are your thoughts on that?
I don't see the point for why you should it would impact plays, but I think if you're catching a ball and you go to the ground to get it and no one touches you, like you should be able to get up and go. Like you're not tackled. You know what I mean? I feel like it's good in college because it's an extra layer of safety. Let's say we were defenseless or whatever, but they do a pretty good job of calling unnecessary roughness if you're hit when you're already down. And I think it's like I don't see a problem with it. If you are on the ground, you're not tackled. You know, that really should be like the play is done when you either go out of bounds or when the defense makes you go down. And if you jump on the ground, I mean,
I'll pull you one though. So Trevor fell. If Chris Jones, who gave no effort on the play at all, so he would not have done this. But if Chris Jones would have immediately dove right on top of Trevor, put all his weight on him, and then it would have been like, oh, then the ref says, oh, you can't do that, and throws a flag. Then it's like, well, now what do you want me to do? Well, you want to just go and get a pillow for him, lay it under him, tuck him in at night, let him know how you feel.
If you sack the guy and you jump on him with all your weight, that's usually when they call it. But if he's on the ground, I feel like it's a little different. I actually think it's easy to not destroy Trevor Lawrence if he's literally a counter. Duck.
So if we're doing you have to be touchdown, quarterbacks can't slide because quarterbacks shouldn't be able to give them up because you're not allowed to touch them when they give themselves up. But then they fall down on accident, they can get up. So
slides are different than just being on the ground, though.
But Trevor fell down, and it's like normally quarterback goes down.
There was a clear difference. The only time it's ever been a problem was when Kenny Pickett faked his slide in college, and they immediately said no more doing that ever.
Yeah, no,
I think it's perfect how it is.
No, I don't like it. I don't like it at all.
Fine, Adam. Instead, the Jaguars lose.
No, they
That's
would have won the game anyway. They would have scored with 10 seconds left, and I would have had to sweat it out for a whole 25 seconds, and I was terrified. The Chiefs screwed that up. Why'd they return the kick? I don't know.
I don't know. It was a bad game.
13 penalties for the Chiefs in that game. Who knows what was happening?
Yeah.
All right. Well, did you have anything else you wanted to talk about? Like I said, I didn't get to watch. I was busy tonight, but I didn't get to watch much of the Giants Eagles game. I will say the Eagles have some problems. Kevin Petula's gonna have to figure a lot out. They got AJ Brown involved today. He had a decent stat line game.
Yeah, they got their offense, actually going in the pass game. It is concerning when they don't have the same offensive line. And that's what made them so good last year, was the best running back behind the best offensive line. It's not the same this year at all. And they historically have owned the Giants. I think they're 18-2 against them in the last 20.
I think this is Sirianni's first loss to the Giants.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, I think the last 20 games, the Eagles have won 18. So, Sirianni said undefeated. This is ridiculous. It is a little ridiculous, honestly.
Yeah.
So
I think the one thing that really concerns me about them is they have no semblance of balance in the way of they're either going to go all passes or all runs. There's no we're going to mix it in here and there, really show balance. It's like last week they said we want to work on our passing game. We're going to throw the ball against the Broncos. Saquon Barkley gets 6 carries in a game. And you're like, what happened? Today, I mean, the game's 3-point, 10-point game, and Saquon's sitting on 10 carries for 60 yards for a long time. So it's like they were really weird on are we going to run? Are we not? They were just, it was really interesting game plan where it's either they're all pass or all run, and they really haven't been able to figure out any balance yet. Now they have the long week. That's going to be good for them, I think, to reset, get everything back in track. But now they got a lot of work to do if they want to repeat. But if you're Eagles fans, I said if you want to compare them to somebody, this looks a lot like the 2023 Chiefs that started 2-3. Last year, the Eagles even started 2-2. So, there's time to turn it around if you're Philadelphia, but it is not looking very promising in Philly. But that's going to move us into our next segment. Chris wanted to do this. Last week, we ranked the top 5 wide receivers. It was fun. It was a fun old time. But now Chris wants to rank the top 5 tight ends. Chris, a huge tight end fan, unless you count the fact that tight ends have to block, because he doesn't like to look at that.
I care more about fantasy. But
exactly. So you
for this ranking, I included some more things like blocking and whatever, the boring stuff.
Yeah, the boring stuff that wins you Super Bowls.
I also think even though blocking's important, it is more difficult to find a guy that can either do both or catch the ball that well as a tight end.
Well, now they just take receivers and make them tight ends.
That is true. Evan Ingram, I think, is still
Evan Ingram's still kicking.
Yeah.
So, that's all they do now.
He's my example number one of I don't know if that guy has ever really been looked at as anything other than a receiver, but
he didn't. The Jags drafted Brenton Strange in the 3rd round because he couldn't block.
Yeah.
So.
Harold Fannin too, just a tall, big receiver.
Yep, that's what he was at Bowling Green.
We'll start like last week. We're gonna go 5-1. Now I think we're just gonna do honorable mention. If you're hurt right now, we're not gonna rank you. So one guy I would have him 1 overall is George Kittle. We're not gonna have him on here because he's played 1 game this year and he was great, but he hasn't played all year, so it's not fair to rank him. But he's probably the best combination of blocking and receiving that we have at the tight end position. That's what really separates him as just a pure receiver. There's probably, he's probably in the top tier of guys, but he doesn't stand out. But it's the combination of both that makes him do it. And even on a loaded team that the Niners used to at least have with all those weapons, he still stood out. So I think he was my number 1, but as I said, can't rank him.
That surprises me with you. That really does, because you talk about Trey McBride more than any person.
I'll get to him, and I'll list my grievance with them.
Yeah, I'm just surprised you would put George Kittle at 1. I mean, I would probably put him up there too in the 1. I said I think there's a clear top 3. George Kittle would be in that top 3 if he was healthy. I think there's.
I know who your top 3 are. I'm not a big fan. I don't really think it's a top 3. I think it's a top 2, but.
Okay, now when we get to him, I'll let you know, because if you want to talk about bad quarterback play affecting tight ends, what are you going to say about that one?
So Brock Bowers hasn't played all year, man. He missed 1 game, but those games have been hurt. He hasn't done anything all year.
Last year he had one of the best tight end seasons in the history of football.
He did. I know. Okay. Anyway, we're going to start at number 5. I I'm gonna go with Tucker Kraft on the Packers. I wasn't really a big fan, but this year he was really good when the Packers were humming. The other guy that I have on here, I think I know who you're gonna have, but I think Tucker Kraft has been really good. I think he's that guy that even though the Packers don't really have number one receiver, they clearly have him as their top tight end. And he's like one of the scary guys. He's really good after the catch. They can't bring him down. I think he's looked really good this year. I have him number 5.
Yeah. My number 5 is going to be great player. It's Jake Ferguson. He would be at my number 5.
He's number 5 for you.
Yes, I think he's a really good tight end. Now, the one thing I would concern me is the Cowboys and Dak Prescott really make tight ends look really good. They did this with Dalton Schultz, but he's been really good for them. A great receiving target. When you have guys like CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens, now CeeDee Lamb's not playing right now, but they push the ball down the field. You need that guy for Dak to be able to check down. Jake Ferguson has filled that role ever since they got rid of Dalton Schultz immediately. It was a big question when they got rid of Schultz because that was Dak's favorite target, and he was very open about that outside of CD. Dalton Schultz was his number one guy, and now losing him, was a big deal. But Jake Ferguson stepped in a big way, and I think he's done a really good job, especially this year in the Schottenheimer offense. Now, Schottenheimer's been there the last couple years, but this year especially, he's really taken off, and Dak's taken off with him. So, yeah, I put Jake Ferguson as my number 5.
I have him higher in my list. I'll get to him. I think with him, we'll just discuss him now. Even though it's largely system-based, he is still doing it just as well as anyone. And I think his ability to catch is really good, and ability to run after the catch. I don't think there's a lot of guys that could really do that. Obviously, if Trey McBride was in that role, I'm sure he'd be doing just as good. But he's catching everything that comes his way, and he's always getting open. And I think, not everyone could do that. In this year, I think he's on pace to break the receptions record for a tight end in a season.
Yep.
If that's happening, I'm going to give him a little bit more respect, because even before this, he was good. Now he is playing like the best tight end, but
yeah,
you're not just gonna give someone one because you're playing the best.
I show him no respect by putting him in the top 5. Totally, yeah.
I think 4's or would you have him 5?
I had him
a little
5.
Low, a little low.
Right. A little low for a guy who's having his first real breakout season. A little low. Okay.
All right, this guy, I'm definitely cheating on my rules because I want to see a player prove it for a long period of time. This is the only guy who I think in all these rankings is going to be like an unproven guy. But Tyler Warren, through what week are we in now? 5.
We're in week 6 now.
Yeah. For 5 weeks, Tyler Warren has looked like one of the best tight ends of football. He's great after the catch, but we saw him get a rushing touchdown at him. We just need him to get the throwing touchdown, and we would have predicted it.
They tried. He was going to attempt the pass this week against the Raiders.
Yeah. Well, I think he could really do it all. I think he could grow. I think he's a pretty good. Most rookie tight ends don't do a lot of blocking. I think he'll get better there, but he's actually big and looks like he could do that, even though, what are you looking at me for, Adam?
Well, because he's been one of the better blocking tight ends in the league.
No, he's a good blocking tight end, but my point is, he's not George Kittle, but, yet. But I think he's big, and I think, when he's in his prime, I think he could be like Kittle. I'm just not saying he's like that yet, but I think he's still a very good blocking tight end for what he is now. And I just think most of the times for rookies, they try to keep it simple and just as a receiver, but he's been able to do both pretty well, and he's been great as a receiver. I think he's been phenomenal. He does a little bit of everything, and that's like a pure talent. It's kind of like Taysom Hill. We've made this comparison before, but he's one of the most talented football players with the ability to do multiple things.
Yep, he's my number 4 too.
Oh,
it's just a little weird. He's a phenomenal blocker. I don't know why you're trying to undersell his blocking.
I'm just saying. My point was rookie tight ends usually don't block. He's been able to block as a rookie tight end.
Yeah, because he was a phenomenal blocker in college, and it translates.
Yes,
so
I agree. I'm just saying, in general, they usually don't ask them to, but that's why I think it's different as a rookie. He can do it's great.
He's been phenomenal. I think if you ask most people, he is the most versatile tight end in the league. When you look at what you can put him in, line him up at fullback, line him up at running back. You can have him take a snap as a quarterback. You can line him up at tight end. You can line him up in the slot. You can line him up out wide. You can put him in so many different positions, and he can be extremely successful. Again, he's a rookie. He's only played 5 games, but you would talk about a team that's probably blown out of the gates here. I mean, the Colts have been one of the best teams in the league through 5 weeks. So you got to give him a ton of credit. and he's been really, really good. Daniel Jones seems to like him. He's really fitting that Shane Steichen offense like a glove, which has been really important for them. So, yeah, I have Tyler Warren at 4. I think he's been phenomenal this year, and I think he's going to continue to grow. Now, am I a little biased? Am I wearing a Penn State hat right now? Absolutely.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm also definitely biased,
he's
but
he's so good. And if you want to call me biased for saying a guy who had maybe the greatest tight end season in the history of college football is translating to the NFL, then I guess I'm biased.
I just think what's different with him than other guys who I'm going to say we haven't seen it is we're basing those guys off of like 1 year. Like Laporta's first season, he caught more touchdowns than all the other tight ends, and it looked great. And then year 2 was pretty uneventful. So I'm saying like we usually see that. I think Warren's impact doesn't rely on him scoring the touchdown. It's just every snap, the blocking and the receiving, and the ability to really kind of be all over the field. Number 3 for me, this is where I had Jake Ferguson. We don't have to discuss it much more, but as I said, he's always been good. This season in this offense, he has been phenomenal. I don't think there's a lot of other people that could do that the way that he is. He's a very good receiving tight end, and with Dak Prescott throwing the ball this well, I think he deserves to be in the top 3.
Yeah. My number 3, I'm going with a guy you just tried to boo-boo, I guess, Sam Laporta.
I'm boo-booing Sam Laporta.
That's what I heard. He's been extremely good. I know you talked about last year being a disappointment. I mean, 60 catches for 726 and 7 touchdowns on the highest scoring offense in the league. I mean, that's pretty good. And this year he's got 21 catches for 269, only has the 1 touchdown, but he's been really, really good. He's a good blocker as well. He fits in that offense. I think he helps make that offense go. Allows Jared Goff to have his check down when he needs it. It really fits in with Amon-Ra St. Brown, Jamison Williams, Jahmyr Gibbs, David Montgomery. They have a lot of mouths to feed, but he always seems to be that consistent glue for that team. I think he's been so good for them. I think Dan Campbell, they got rid of TJ Hawkinson because they knew this guy was coming in. They were going to be able to use him. So, that's been really important to them. So, yeah, I'm going to roll with Sam Laporta here. He comes from Iowa, and there are a lot of good Iowa tight ends in the NFL. So, yeah.
I don't have a problem with it. I just think his first year was so high, then just not even that year 2 was bad, just that it was a bit of regression. This year is more of like all right, let's see what a consistent year looks like. And I think it's not really his fault, but when you're on a team with Jahmyr Gibbs, David Montgomery, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Jamison Williams, it's hard to see what is Sam Laporta, how much of it is him not getting the ball enough because there's so many other options, or is it him getting opportunities because everyone else is guarded. It's just been really hard to judge the Lions individual players because there's so much going on, and I think that's a credit to the team. And I think Laporta would have been 6th on my list. But
cool. I have him at 3.
Okay. Number 2 for me. This is where I have Brock Bowers. And last year he was phenomenal. And he did not even have a good quarterback. This year, the quarterback is worse, but Brock Bowers got hurt week 1. He tried playing through it, and he has not looked the same at all. Geno Smith, on paper, is an upgrade, but has honestly kind of been playing worse than any of his quarterbacks last year, so I think the quarterback play is the same. I don't think Brock Bowers has looked nearly as good as he did last year. I think it's the injury thing, because after a few weeks of thinking he was healthy, week 5 rolled around and he did not play, which was the first game he's ever missed. And this week, he has not practiced yet this week. So, we've really seen it for 1 year, and this year has just been hurt. I'm not going to give the guy the belt right now if they are currently dinged up and not playing their best. He's not, on the IR, so I don't think we should, take him off this list. But we haven't really seen it year 2. I want to see it another time before I crown him the best tight end right now.
Yeah, that's fair. I'm going to put Trey McBride at 2. He'll be my number 2. Mostly because I want to mix it up. Second of all, you know what? It really helps teams win, Chris. Can you tell me what really helps teams win? What really helps teams win games?
Are you going to say blocking?
No, I was going to say, getting the ball into the end zone. Because it's sometimes hard for Arizona to get the ball into the end zone. They have guys fumbling it in there. But Trey McBride, his career, he's been in the league 4 years, Chris. This is his 4th year in the league. He has 6 touchdowns in 4 years.
He had over 80 catches without a touchdown, which was a record.
Yeah.
And I think partially it's just bad luck, but he has such a high red zone target rate, and he always gets stopped at the 1.
Mm-hmm.
I think if you wanted to ding him slightly, you could. I think the bigger issue was the Cardinals very easily just go to James Conner when they
Yeah.
had him at the 1 or the 2. And at the end of last year, they tried getting Trey McBride the ball. He has a touchdown this year. And I also think just the other issue is they have Maserati Marv, and we can talk about Marvin Harrison, but he will steal like the long touchdowns a lot.
And he's
then
played great last 2 weeks. He's played really good the last 2 weeks.
And then within the 5, it was all James Conner, which leaves a weird spot for Trey McBride. However, he's still great. He's a big guy. Not the best blocker, but I still think he can block pretty well. And I just really I think he's always getting open for a, sit there and always be an option for Kyler.
Mm-hmm.
This is the worst I've ever felt about Kyler Murray and the Cardinals. Kyler's right now questionable. I don't think he practiced today.
Probably not.
I'm now at the point where I went from thinking the Cardinals could have this fun offense with Trey McBride and Marvin Harrison with Kyler to now can we get a better quarterback for these guys? Because honestly, Kyler is really annoying to watch.
Yeah, and the sad part is they're not getting a new quarterback.
Kyler's under contract for, I think, a while.
The one thing that makes me upset with you is you're going to put Sam Laporta at 6, and you're going to put Trey McBride at 1. And they have almost identical stats this season. And Sam Laporta's a better blocker. So.
This season, yes. Trey McBride is actually having one of his worst statistical
29
seasons.
29 catches, 275, and a touchdown.
He's been very consistent every game, and I think that's what I value is he's always at around 5 to 7 catches, 70 yards, and hopefully I think his touchdowns are going to go up.
He hasn't eclipsed 70 yards in his last 3 games.
How many does he have normally?
He had 61 week 1 against the Saints, 78 against the Carolina, 43 against San Francisco, 52 against Seattle, and 41 against the Titans.
That was a rough stretch.
Yeah.
I agree, Adam. The team is down, but Trey McBride, I think, is their best player on offense.
Oh, I don't disagree with that.
I just think he's really elevating the team, whereas Laporte is probably what? At best, 3rd?
So you're punishing Sam Laporta for playing for a good football team.
No, but I think he's getting lifted by the people around him compared to Trey McBride, who is...
Well, we'll never know. They could flip, and we don't know what would happen. You don't know.
That could be true, but I think we have these discussions all the time. Do we really think Jalen Hurts is that good, or do we really think his team around him was so good last year?
I think Jalen Hurts is a really good quarterback. Just watch the Super Bowl.
I think Jalen Hurts is a great number 8 quarterback in the league, but I don't think he's number 4 or 5.
I don't know. I mean, he's playing really bad right now, but look at the guy in L.A. everyone likes to love after those first 3 weeks, and now look at how he's played the last 2 weeks. I don't know, man.
When you said L.A., I was thinking of Matthew Stafford.
The other guy's playing really good.
I was going to say, he is on a heater right now, Adam.
Everybody's all-American. I love Matthew Stafford. You're not going to find many guys that like Matthew Stafford more than me. Yeah, I love Matthew Stafford.
Well, I'm assuming then that means Brock Bowers is your number 1.
Yeah, I'll put it. I mean, I think, like I said, I think there's a top 3. Kittle would probably be my number 1 right now because he's an unbelievable blocker. I'm with you there. I really putting Bowers at 1 just to have some, variation here. Plus, I think you look at Bowers, his quarterback situation these last 2 years. I mean, Geno fell off the cliff. Seattle it's starting to get weird how Seattle knows exactly when to get rid of quarterbacks.
And want to bring him in
they brought in Geno, it worked. Now they bring in Darnold. It's working so far. So, I mean,
and they got rid of Russ, too, right at the perfect time.
Yeah, but Bowers, he's missed games, but still 19 catches for 225. So he's played 1 less game than your guy, Trey McBride, and he's only about 40 yards behind him. Only 10 catches behind him, and he's missed a whole game. So he's been good. And last year, like I said, it was unbelievable. 112 for 1194 and 5 touchdowns. So how about that? In 1 season, he almost eclipsed Trey McBride's career touchdown total. That's wild.
Listen, touchdowns aren't everything, Adam.
Well, what's the goal when you go out on a football field? Is it to score more points than the other team? Is that how you win games? How do you score points, Christopher?
Listen, the guys in the red zone, that depends on other things. Jalen Hurts steals all the touchdowns away from his players on the Eagles, but we know how good they are.
Yes, he does. That means if you're getting them, the Raiders did not score many touchdowns last year, Chris. They were the Las Vegas Raiders, but guess who got some?
I think the Cardinals do not. I don't know. I just think it's a weird. Listen, I can't really explain the touchdown thing. It was literally the greatest abnormality in the league.
No, no. Like I said, I'm putting Bowers in there just to mix it up a little bit. He's not the best blocker, but he's a good blocker. And he's just been really good for them. And I think he's a weapon that really good. I think really good quarterbacks elevate tight ends in an insanely good way. Because it's always like their best friend. Like, Brady always needed to have that good tight end for him to dump down to. Mahomes has always had the tight end to dump down to. Like, it always helps to have that tight end there because it's a great security blanket for you when you're looking to go down the field to your receivers, having that tight end there. And Bowers hasn't had that yet. But, like I said, I think him and McBride are really, really close. And like I said, I just wanted to mix it up a little bit because I know you're going to have McBride at 1. So I'm like, I'll put Bowers at 1 because why not?
Okay. I respect it. That's fine. That's fine. I'll think about this, though. Bug me all night.
I mean, it's like I said, it was just to mix it up. I mean, if you would have had Bowers at 1, I probably would have had McBride at 1 just to mix it up.
Adam, you surprised me. Not really. But speaking of surprises, let's go to our next segment. Surprise teams this year, Adam. Explain what we're picking.
Okay, so if I saw someone talking about this, if you look at the standings in the NFL right now, it is weird to see some of the teams at the top. Like you see the Ravens are down low, the Chiefs are down low, and it's like, man, these teams are down at the bottom. Like who the heck's at the top then? And you see like Jacksonville, Indianapolis, Pittsburgh's at the top. I don't think many people thought they would be up there with Aaron Rodgers in year 1 this quickly. Seattle's up there just getting Geno Smith. The Niners are up there with, I think a lot of people, if they would have stayed healthy, wouldn't be surprised, but they've had Mac Jones and they've missed a bunch of people. So, like, the Niners are up near the top. With all the injuries, you take that into account. The Bucks are up there. Like, there's been a lot of teams that are having weirdly fast starts to this regular season. So we're going to go through what surprise teams we trust that we think might be able to carry this through and what surprise teams we think are slowly going to fall off. So Chris, would you like to start or do you want me to start?
I would like to start. And
Okay.
I would like to talk about my favorite team. Just kidding, they're not my favorite team. But
Yeah.
Daniel Dimes, Jonathan Taylor, Tyler Warren, Michael Pittman, the Indianapolis Colts. They've been a surprise. Okay, we knew that like they might be decent best case scenario with Daniel Jones, but they have been phenomenal. Their only loss came to the Rams when they did another fumble at the end zone, which probably would have won them the game. And I think they look really good. Daniel Jones looks great. Jonathan Taylor has been phenomenal. I don't really, and their defense is good. I think I trust them a lot. I know that Daniel Jones should scare you, and I think that's fair. But I think he knows how to play in this offense, in this system, and the team is talented enough around him to support him this year. I think they're honestly, a very good team. And I think their biggest weakness was quarterback. Anthony Richardson would lose you games last year. Daniel Jones knows how to not lose you a game if you give him pieces. He takes what he's given. He sees these decent pieces, and he just is like, okay, I'm not going to try to throw a pick six this game, and that's all he has to do.
Yeah, it's a scary time for old Indiana Jones out there in Indianapolis. You know why? I think we talked about this earlier. It's October, autumn, the leaves are changing, and eventually you're gonna have to go because Halloween's coming up. You're gonna have to go to a pumpkin patch. There should be some pumpkins sitting there. The clock might be getting close to midnight. I'm not saying it is, but it might be getting close to midnight on Daniel Jones. The next thing you know, to hear them coming out and going, "It's the Great Pumpkin, Daniel Jones," and he's back. So he's got to avoid that.
I'm really happy that's where you went with it being unsafe in Indianapolis after the Mark Sanchez thing.
I'm not getting into that. No, we are not talking about that.
I was really worried about where you started.
I'm not. No. I'm just
Adam,
talking.
you have a great reputation for, talking about, not discussing things. So I was like, oh boy.
I'm not bringing it up. I wasn't going to bring up Mark Sanchez. You did.
I don't know. You're talking about safety in Indianapolis. And
yes,
I was
talking about, he has to avoid pumpkin mode. That's what he has to avoid. I think he can. It's just something to watch out. Like, because there's two ways he goes. He either falls back to Daniel Jones or he's on the Sam Darnold path. Or the Baker Mayfield path, or like some of those other guys who've found a place to go.
That's fine. Let's go to your surprise.
Of course,
surprisingly good team.
Everyone knows my surprise team. It's not really hard. They're 4-1. They won on Monday night. They beat Kansas City. Not many teams do that on Monday night. Lamar Jackson. It's the Jacksonville Jaguars. They're phenomenal, man. It's a heck of a year. Liam Cohen, I think. I said you mentioned the Colts. The winner of the AFC South is probably going to win Coach of the Year. I think it's almost locked up at this point. Kyle Shanahan might have a say if the Niners continue to win with all these mixed pieces. Same with Todd Bowles in Tampa if they continue to win hurt and things like that. But I mean, the AFC South, those two teams have been extremely surprising. I'm going to talk about my Jags here. The defense has been phenomenal. They forced 14 turnovers through 5 games. That leads the NFL. They had the 99-yard pick six. Devin Lloyd right now should be the front runner for Defensive Player of the Year. He's been absolutely unreal. AFC Defensive Player of the Month, and then capped it off with a 99-yard pick six against Patrick Mahomes on Monday night. Trevor Lawrence has played okay football, but he really grew up on Monday. He played a phenomenal game against Kansas City. That last drive was huge. That throw to Brian Thomas Jr., they're starting to get on the same page. People aren't talking about that enough. They're starting to click these last 2 weeks. It's been really fun to see. They have depth. Travis Hunter. My goodness, he was great on Monday night. He had an insane catch. He was great defensively. He was their highest rated defender, I think, one of their highest rated offensive players as well. So they're trending in the right direction. And they have the run game. I didn't even mention Travis Etienne, who's having one of the best seasons in the NFL at the running back position. They've been really, really good this year. There is concern. These next 2 weeks are really tough. They get Seattle at home, then they go to London to play the Rams, so really tough stretch here for them, and then they got a bunch of division games. And the division looks a little tougher than maybe it did a couple weeks ago because the Titans get a frisky win. The Texans are back to 2-3, and of course the Colts are 4-1, and they got to play them twice. So no, but I really trust the Jags here. I think Liam Cohen's pushing all the right buttons, and we'll see if they continue to do that. So man, I'll roll with the Jags as the team I trust because of course I trust them. I got to watch them every week.
I mean, this was supposed to be surprise teams, and I think you were, saying this was going to be what was going to happen from the beginning of the season, Adam,
right.
but don't know
Hey,
if that's a surprise.
surprise to other people. Us in Duval County.
I took it as to me and the people, but I am surprised by the Jags, especially considering the fact that they haven't looked great at moments. The fact that they're still winning is a very good sign. Like Brian Thomas, for example, hasn't played great.
Yeah.
They're still winning. Travis Etienne, I think, though, good bounce back season.
Yeah. They're a drop pass away from being 5-0. Like Brian Thomas Jr. makes that catch against the Bengals right in front of them on 4th down to get these scores when they win the game.
You could say that, but the Chiefs game could have easily gone the other way too.
No way. They gave him too much time. They knew they were going to give him too much time.
Mahomes threw a pick six, and then Trevor falls down and then gets back up.
Great defense and elite quarterback play. That's how you win games. That's how Trevor Lawrence be doing it.
I think those kind of cancel. I think it all kind of cancels out.
Hey.
Surprise team to fall off, though, for me. This team, I think, is good. And I don't even know what even their record is, because I feel like, we just accepted this team as good, but I don't think they're actually that good. I think they're a team in the middle where if they play someone good, they lose. If they play someone bad, they win. Kind of like the Cardinals, but they beat the Cardinals. And I'm talking about the Seattle Seahawks. I think Sam Darnold has looked really good as a Seahawk. I think that's encouraging. They're 3-2 right now. When you look at the Seahawks, they never really feel like that top tier of contender. They're always this team, week 18, in the wild card hunt that doesn't make it, or they might squeak in. I think that's going to be the case again. I think their defense is better. Offensively, Jackson Smith-Njigba has been great, but you also lost DK Metcalf. You lost Tyler Lockett from a few years ago. I think overall their receiving core is similar. Cooper Kupp hasn't really done much this year. He's been okay. Kenneth Walker and Charbonnet, it seems like that's pretty much a split backfield. So it's a good team. I think they're going to finish around 500. But and especially when the Rams are looking really good and the Niners are looking really good. I know the Rams lost last week, but they still look really good, at least on offense. I don't really see a spot for the Seahawks to make the playoffs, especially so the NFC West might have 2 teams, and then the NFC North is going to probably have at least 2 teams. That doesn't leave a lot of spots open.
Yeah, that leaves exactly 1 spot. And you got to look right now. You got the Commanders.
There's a guy. He's looming over New York. His name is Jaxson Dart.
Dude, stop. You don't actually believe they're going to make the playoffs.
I do not, but there's another guy in the NFC East named Jaden Daniels.
I was going to say the East has the Commanders and the Eagles, and the Giants. But the Giants, actually, you're talking about Jaxson Dart, that could actually hurt the East getting 2 teams in, because he keeps picking off these East teams that could losses add up.
If the Eagles, my dream is for the Eagles to not win the division, to keep the streak going.
That would be nice.
Having
that would be
a
funny.
different winner of the NFC East every year.
Plus, the Cowboys are frisky, man. They can outscore you. Like they're going to score points. Like holy I mean, they're no slouch. I mean, they're gonna be tough to beat. So that NFC East is gonna be an interesting, fun to watch. All right, for me, surprise team to fall off. This is gonna lean. How about 2 for 1 here? This is gonna rate in my upset week pick. The Pittsburgh Steelers. Look, I mean, I think a lot of people are overreacting to Pittsburgh's start. They're 3-1. They're in first place in the division. I think people are overreacting because of what other teams in the division are doing. Like the Bengals look lost, the Browns are the Browns, and the Ravens are 1-5 or 1-4. Like they're all those teams are falling off. So Pittsburgh's like, man, they have such a like head start in the division that it's like really, really impressive. But like when you looked at the schedule, this is exactly what Pittsburgh needed to do in the start because the back end of their schedule is really tough. They have all their division games. They have all these tough games later. They play Green Bay, I think. So they have all these tough games coming up that they needed to get off to a good start. So let's pump the brakes on Pittsburgh a little bit. I think Aaron's playing okay. Like he's playing good, serviceable football. The defense has figured it out over the last few weeks. But yeah, it's time to pump the brakes a little bit on the Steelers just because I think they're doing exactly what if you like went through preseason stuff, they're doing exactly what you would have expected them to do. But it's just that people are overreacting because the rest of the division has been way back.
When it comes to the Steelers, I would love to agree with you, Adam. I'm concerned, though. I'm generally concerned they're going to win this division.
Well, they might. I mean,
The Ravens are looking terrible, and Lamar probably isn't going to play this week.
Probably not.
And the Steelers have an easier matchup against the Browns. That's not a give me, but it's still an easier matchup for them. If they win that and the Ravens probably lose to the Rams, that's a big gap to overcome. And I really don't want to see the Steelers in the playoffs because I hate them and they're annoying because they just refuse to die. But I respect it. And right now they're 3-1. Let's say they win this week. They're 4-1, and the Ravens are 1-5, and the Steelers are 4-1. That is near impossible.
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough. We saw it happen in baseball though this year. 15.5 games back at a team. Ryan back.
Baseball's 162 games, not 17.
15.5 games back. I think in mid-July. It's just not a lot of time.
That's different. Football. Actually, you know what's funny? The AFC North, every single team has a negative point differential.
Yep. But you said Steelers probably going to get to 4-1, right? Because they play Cleveland. Let's get the upset of the week. So let's look at last week. Chris, you had a great week, even though I thought about taking the points off because you didn't pick this team to win outright in our picks, which I thought was cheating. But no, you got it right. Titans over Cardinals. You had them plus 7.5. You were just thinking cover. They end up winning outright.
Because the spread was way too big for a Cardinals team that chokes away games, and I was right.
Yeah, you played the cover, but you didn't think the Titans would win. You could have really saved yourself a game in game picks too, but you didn't. But you get to 13 points now with that big 7-pointer for Christopher. But me moved to 3-0 when taking the state of Florida. Bucks over Seahawks worked out plus 3.5. So now we are tied at 13 points going into this week.
That was a terrible line of 3.5 for that Bucks Seahawks game. I thought I would have taken that if you didn't, honestly, because 3.5 is too much.
you took the Seahawks to win. Yeah, you're really counteracting your game picks a lot. But for me,
I know.
For me, I'm going another big spread. Chris knows I don't like to mess around with those small little 1.5 point spreads. I like to go big. Browns over Steelers. I'm rolling with it. Plus 6.5. Now, look, even if they don't win outright, this game's going to be close. It's a division game. Okay, so like AFC North division games usually don't get out of hand either way. I mean, this defense for the Browns is really, really good. Now, they got rid of Greg Newsome, sent him over to my guys. We gave him Tyson Campbell, who's a good corner. I think he fits Cleveland a lot better than he fit the new system in Jacksonville. I think it's going to be a really low-scoring, classic AFC North division game. Dylan Gabriel last week in London, I know a lot of people weren't up for it. He played smart football, didn't turn the ball over, used Judkins a lot, who's been great for them since coming in for the Browns. That ground game's really worked, so I think they're really going to lean on that. I don't know who's going to be the backup quarterback because I don't know why Kevin Stefanski's really refusing to allow Shadur to be the backup. I don't get it. Just let him be the backup. Like, I mean, if Dylan gets hurt, he goes in. Like, it's just the way things work. That's how backup quarterbacks work, Kevin. But besides the point, I like the Browns here. Even if they don't win, I think 6.5 in an AFC North division game, I think it's a lot of points.
I like it. Now I'm going to one-up you, Adam. I'm going to go off script here. There's a team that is favored to lose by 14.5 points. I don't care who's playing. It could be my high school football team against the Eagles from last year. 14's too many. 14.5 is too many. Too many garbage time points happen in football. I'm going with Joe Flacco and the Bengals. I'm like half a week of practice with them against the Packers. I think the Packers are going to win. I'm playing another cover at them. But 14.5, 3 scores, really, that would be crazy. That's
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah, I mean, it could happen, but I mean, it was garbage time touchdowns that would have got you the cover last week with the Lions. So when Lions Bengals, no, but Joe Flacco, remember, Packers have one loss this year. Joe Flacco was the starting quarterback on the team that beat him. He had a chance to beat the Packers twice. So
That would actually be the funniest thing. However, Joe Flacco didn't really do much against the Packers, to be
but
honest.
he didn't make mistakes. Now the difference
He
is
really just relied on the defense.
he
I'm
doesn't
going to
have
be
to
honest. I'm
he
not giving
doesn't
him credit.
he doesn't but he didn't turn the ball over. Jordan Love threw the basic pick six, so he didn't make the mistake. And
The
Jordan Love will
Packers
give
are
you a
also
couple.
coming off a bye, which really hurts. But
Well, we thought that against in the Cleveland game, remember? Because they played Thursday nights. They had the extended rest going into the
true,
Cleveland
maybe it
game.
messes him up.
I don't know, but no. I mean, I think it's a big spread. The only difference that Joe Flacco has in this game is he has the Bengals defense instead of the Browns defense, and that is a big difference.
That is a
So-
big difference. But now the Bengals have probably their best passing option since week 2.
Yes. Oh, absolutely.
So I was surprised Flacco's the QB they went out and traded for. You would have thought would have been Russ. I would have thought Jameis. We've had this debate before.
You don't know why it's Joe Flacco? Because he's done this exact thing before. He did it
Yeah.
with the Browns. Like
Yeah.
when Deshaun got hurt, he came in
And I
and
think the
did it.
Bengals have seen him so much because he was on the Ravens, then the Browns. I think they're like, all right, we've seen him. We know how he plays.
I think he's going to become the first quarterback to play for 3 different teams in a division, or at least in the AFC North. So good for Joe Flacco. All right, now we'll go into game picks here. We both picked the Eagles. No one knew it. We could have lied. Chris, no one would have known if we would have said we
Adam,
took the
I
Giants.
picked the Giants.
Yeah, okay. I texted you, do you got the Eagles? And you said, yeah, of course. Nah, that didn't work out. So we're both 0-1 on the week after really tough weeks last week. I went 7-7.
Last week was brutal.
Yeah, I went 7-7. You went 6-8, which makes me 4 games up. But we're now both below 70% in our win percentage. So we got to get back on track. Lock the F in, as they would say, since Chris doesn't let me swear on the show. Broncos Jets in London. Another London game. Sneaky place to play, but
In Tottenham, though, Adam.
yes, it is
I
in
went there.
Tottenham.
Yeah.
I have not.
Yeah, I got a
You went-
tour. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, very nice. I'm going with the Broncos here. The Jets haven't won a game. I do think people got to pump the brakes on this, like Aaron Glenn being an awful head coach. Like, let's wait a little bit. Let's leave because, like, I'm trying to remember. Like, Dan Campbell went 3-13 his first year. Like, don't let's not do a whole fire sale for Aaron Glenn yet, because the team's not very good right now. But I'll take the Broncos.
I'm also going to take the Broncos. I think this is going to be a close game, though. It's one of those early morning London games. So far, both of the overseas games have been, like, really close. And they're just weird games. A lot of weird stuff happens. If there's ever a time for an upset, it's in a London game because who knows what's going to go on. So
huge letdown spot for the Broncos after the big comeback win against the Eagles. This is a huge letdown spot.
Jets desperately looking for a first win. Give me the Broncos, but I don't love it.
Right. Seahawks, Jags. I don't got anything to say. Duval. Jags.
Give me the Seahawks.
I figured. Look,
I'm
this is a
surprised
big.
you didn't take the Jags for your underdog pick.
They're like line just moved to like 2.5. That's weak sauce. You know I don't play with those small lines. Even though if I pick the Jags, it'd be a guaranteed win. Again, 3-0 when picking the state of Florida. But nah, I mean, I think this is a big letdown spot for the Jags too. If I said it was a letdown spot for the Broncos, even bigger letdown spot for the Jags. Trevor even mentioned it, saying that if there's people still thinking about Monday night, then that's a problem. He said that earlier today. So, and he's not wrong. Browns Steelers. This is my upset pick. I think the Browns keep it close. I think they keep it low scoring, and I think they find a way to upset the Steelers in Pittsburgh.
I can see it, but I think I'm going to stick with Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh, I think, is a good home field. They looked really good in Ireland, honestly. I know the game was close at the end, but they just kind of put the game together. And I just think they look a pretty good team. Aaron Rodgers is very good at getting the ball out quickly. And even though Myles Garrett's great, Aaron Rodgers knows that. He's not holding on to that ball. He wants it out of his hands immediately.
Chargers Dolphins, sneaky game. About a couple weeks ago, this would probably be the easiest pick in the world, but the Chargers have lost back to back. They only scored 10 points in the game against Washington, lost 27-10. Both tackles are out. Amari and Hampton is out. I almost took the Dolphins as my upset pick here, to kind of ride the state of Florida,
Me too.
see if I can give the Dolphins some magic, but I'm not going to do that. I will take the Chargers to win. I was all set on taking the Dolphins, as I said, until I watched them lose to the Panthers. So give me the Chargers.
Give me the Dolphins. I will never pick the Dolphins to ever upset anyone again this season. So the fact that I'm doing this now is pretty remarkable. This is the Tua Justin Herbert debate from years ago, and I think it actually interests me every single time. And it feels like whenever one started to pull away in that argument, the other one would come back. And even 2 years ago, Herbert had that loss to the Jags, and then Tua was throwing Tyreek, and they looked great. Now though, it's like, oh, Herbert, my God, and then. No, it's the opposite, my God. He's looking bad again. Give me the Dolphins. I do think their defense is terrible.
Mm-hmm.
They did let Rico Dowdle run for over 200 yards against them.
Yes, he did.
However, the Chargers are onto their now third-string running back. It's going to be Haskins, and Vidal's going to be probably their pass-catching back. But Haskins played for Harbaugh, so probably going to be more of the, early down back.
Hassan Haskins, though, is a dude. That dude can run the rock. So
well, we'll see. And I don't think the Dolphins have a defense at all.
No.
But they, oddly enough, are decent against receivers. I think the Dolphins get the win. It's in Miami. It's still going to be, 70-something degrees. It's going to be kind of hot. Give me the Dolphins.
You don't like this, but I woke up this morning and there was frost on my car, and I have never been happier in my life. I love the cold weather. So
I went outside. I took a breath of that, the brisk, fresh air, but I was like, that's kind of nice. It reminds me of school back in the day, but I also kind of hate it.
Chris, I went to Toronto and it was 84 degrees. I was like, what are we doing? I'm in Canada and it's 84. I wasn't happy, but I enjoyed it. Ravens. Enough said. If Lamar's not playing and that defense is lining up, I'm taking the Rams.
I'm taking the Rams either way, but especially with Lamar out, not questioning it. Rams.
Yep. Cardinals, Colts. Chris's former love versus what he said in surprise teams maybe is a new love. I'll take the Colts. AFC South might be the best division in football. People are talking, but give me the Colts.
Also give me the Colts. I'm so done on Kyler. I'm really just over it. Get me out of there. I've been trapped in for so long. I've seen the light now.
He is throwing for 300 yards and 3 touchdowns today, and you'll be right back in when we record on Sunday.
I hope that's the case. I really do.
All right, Cowboys, Panthers. Panthers are really good at home. Panthers get the Cowboys at home. This is going to be a high-scoring game, I think, but I don't think Bryce Young and that offense could score enough. I'll take Dak and the Cowboys.
I'm also going to take Dak and the Cowboys. I do think, though, the Panthers will score at the end of the game and make it look a lot closer than it was.
Yeah. I mean, let's be honest. I mean, this Cowboys defense, so the Panthers are going to have opportunities to score. But Patriots at Saints. Saints coming off a win, Chris. They defeated the Giants. Looks like a really good win after the way the Giants played today. But they're playing the Patriots, who the Saints had a good win. The Patriots had a great win last week, and I think they're riding a lot of momentum. Drake May's playing really well. I'll take the Pats.
Yeah, I think last week we see Jaxson Dart still a rookie. Cam Scadaboo had an unfortunate fumble 6. And the Saints still, even though the team's not good, they still have a very good home field advantage. And I think when we have a rookie going in there, some things are going to happen. Drake May, I think, probably, even though statistically it wasn't crazy, didn't have any touchdowns, but he played really well against the Bills.
Perfect in the second half. He was one incompletion.
I think they played Sunday night, so it's not a short week for them. I like the Patriots. I think 3.5 is close. I actually almost took the Saints for my upset pick because I think 3.5 is a bit much, but I don't know. I think Patriots probably win on a field goal.
I think they'll win by more than a field goal. I think they'll win by 6.
Really getting the Saints look good.
I didn't say they look bad. If they lose this game 28-24, just because they didn't cover, we're not gonna say the Saints played bad.
I see this game being a weird comes down to a last second field goal.
I don't know. I mean, they were playing Stephon Diggs. Is he
That was a
back?
Bills revenge game type of deal. He
But
hasn't
Stephon
done
Diggs has played
anything.
well the last couple weeks, man.
Eh,
He's been playing
eh,
highest completion percentage from a quarterback to a wide receiver. Stephon Diggs and Drake May.
he's fine.
Best connection in the league. Titans or Raiders? Boy, oh boy, is this a tough one to pick. I'm going to take the Raiders because they're at home, and that's all I have to say because I have no idea.
I would hate to watch this game. Give me
But
the Raiders. Not big. I really think Geno Smith is one of the worst quarterbacks in the league right now. I was hoping the Raiders would be just like a somewhat experienced, safe, like not turning the ball over group that could just be like, all right, we have adults in the room. Let's try to get like 6 wins this year. Week 1 was great. Ever since then, Geno's been abysmal. Genty, ever since going back to, oh my God, Genty went like up 3 octaves. Genty, though, once he goes back to that weird stand-up stance, he's phenomenal. Don't make him change it. If it works, it works. What's the problem with it?
yeah.
Jacoby Myers is solid, but Brock Bowers, if Brock Bowers doesn't play, that's just really tough in this offense. But give me the Raiders anyways, even though I don't like either team.
I'll take I'm taking the Raiders, as I said. I think this could just come down to coaching, and Pete Carroll isn't having his best year, but he's much better than Callahan. So that's all you gotta know.
Yeah, the
That's all you
Titans'
gotta know.
only win has come because of 2 of the craziest, unluckiest plays for the
And
Cardinals.
even if they get the weird interception fumble touchdown, if DeMarcado scores, it's 28-6 and the game's over.
Yeah.
So that's a 69-yard touchdown that doesn't happen. So yeah, the Titans got extremely lucky. I don't think they create that magic again. But weird things happen in Allegiant Stadium. So never know. It's a weird place. 49ers Bucks. Rumor Brock Purdy's going to give it a go this week. I'm going to ride with the Bucks. I think Baker Mayfield right now is the front runner for MVP. He is playing unreal. He's got 4 game-winning drives on the year. Now the last one was aided by Sam Darnold throwing an interception. But I'll ride with the Bucks here at home in Tampa. This is just an opinion. I think Mac Jones should start because I think if Brock plays poorly, there's going to be weird noise coming out about Mac. I don't think Mac should be the long-time starter, but you throw him out there and you just let him play till he loses, and then when he loses, you take him out and say, we're just going back to Brock. He's good now. Plus, you give Brock a chance to rest a little bit more because he did the weird, he came back and then immediately got hurt again. So I would just play Mac Jones, and I think with Mac Jones or Brock Purdy, they lose this week to Baker Mayfield, and then you make the change after that, so there's none of that weird, is there a quarterback controversy? But give me the Bucks.
I'm confused at the Niners, honestly. Mac Jones looks really good. And like you said, I would also just be like, all right, Brock,
Just play
unless he's 100%, do not throw him out there. Because if
Just
he's
ride
not
him
100% and he stinks, they're going to be, super upset it's not Mac.
Just ride him till he loses. It's Mac Jones. He will eventually lose. Mac Jones isn't going to go on an unreal run and never lose again.
Yeah, I think let Brock get healthy. The game you needed to win was last week against the Rams. They did. And I think this week, it's not a division game. Put in the backup. Let Brock get healthy. Don't force him out there. I'm going to pick the Bucks. I'm just concerned because the Niners should not have won last week on paper because they missed everyone. They still did, so I'm a little concerned.
Yeah.
Picking against them, but the Bucks just find ways to win games. So Emeka Egbuka every single week amazes me, and I don't know anyone higher on him than I was. So, I don't know.
Yeah. Bucky Irving might not play, so that would be a loss for the Bucks, but they just won without
Sean
him.
White scored 2 touchdowns last
I know.
week. They'll
They
be
just
fine.
won without him. So, they find ways to win. Bengals, Packers. I'm running with the Packers, but are you going to do it again, Chris? You picked a big dog last week and didn't pick them to win outright.
14.5-point spread.
7.5 last week, and you didn't pick them to win. Come on now.
Yeah, and
do
you
it.
know what? I was crazy plays away, 3 crazy plays away. Give me the Packers, but I think they probably win by 14 points.
You're playing the hook.
I genuinely think that there's gonna be a garbage time touchdown that makes the game look closer than it was.
Oh, there's an interesting scenario here where they score the garbage time touchdown and Evan McPherson misses the extra point and they lose by 15. That would be something.
I don't want you talking this into existence. I'm just gonna trust that they make the extra point. I think they'll be okay.
Yeah.
Also, Jamar Chase looked pretty good last week, honestly.
I'll take the Packers too. I'm gonna take them. Lions Chiefs Sunday Night Football. Sadly, Chris, I'm going to admit I'm probably not going to be watching this game or paying much attention to it because the Blue Jays play at the same time. So just ALCS
I'm
starts
tired of
with
this
game one.
baseball talk, Adam. It brings up bad memories for me.
Yeah, the nice Soto jersey behind you. I heard he flew to Cancun.
I don't know if this is true, but it looked like he posted something that said like
He did.
saving a seat for the Yankees.
Yeah, I think he did post that. But is Judge, Stanton, Anthony Volpe, are they all there? I know Schlittler's not there. He went to the Bruins game today, but I mean, are they all going to join him in Cancun? Who knows? Former teammates.
We have Juan Soto and John Wall over there. It's the Wall of Legends.
Yeah, John Wall.
Maybe
Great
get some more
player.
decorations up, but
Yeah. Sadly, you didn't watch John Wall at Kentucky. That dude was a monster.
He was like one of the first basketball players I've ever heard of while he was at Kentucky, though, so I respect him.
Him and DeMarcus Cousins. Heck of a team. Lost to West Virginia. And you know who was on that West Virginia team that beat John Wall in Kentucky? Point guard?
Was he really good in the NBA or no?
No, he wasn't, but he's really prominent in the NBA.
I'm not going to know.
Joe Mazzulla.
Oh, that's actually pretty funny.
Lions
But I've never
Chiefs.
gotten it.
Lions Chiefs. I'm going to take the Chiefs here because it's in Arrowhead. I have little confidence in this. It's kind of like my pick last week. I think at home, bounce back spot for the Chiefs. Even in the loss against Jacksonville, this is going to hurt. So Duval fans, I'm a Duval fan, so cover yours. I think the Chiefs were the better team. I think the Jags made some plays to win the game, which was really crucial. But I think the Chiefs were the better team. I think they saw some good signs. I think they're slowly getting better. And where Shea Rice gets back, I think their offense is really going to take off. They still got to find a way to run the ball. I mean, Mahomes cannot be your leading rusher game in and game out. But I will take the Chiefs here. I think it's going to be a close game. I think the Lions are playing so well that maybe this is their, okay, let's get back to reality and just kind of scheduled loss here for the Lions. But I think it's going to be a really good game. I would not be shocked if the Lions win. Heck, I probably wouldn't be shocked if the Lions win by double digits, but I'll take the Chiefs.
I'm going to take the Lions. I really think they're playing like the best team in the NFL right now. I know the Chiefs have looked better, but once Rashee Rice comes back next week, I think I'm going to have a lot more trust in that team, but right now they're still kind of a makeshift offense, whereas the Lions just have guys all over the field that can play. They play the Ravens in Baltimore, and they kind of smoked them. And I get that the Ravens weren't as good as people thought they were going to be, but they're still a very good offense, and they still pretty much, stopped them pretty well. I think the Chiefs don't have the same offensive firepower, and I think defensively they're good, but I don't even think they're as good as they were last year defensively. They're not gelling yet. Give me the Lions. I am surprised the Chiefs were even favored. I know it's an Arrowhead, but
home game in Arrowhead.
That's why. Just give me the Lions.
Yeah, I'll roll with the Chiefs here, though. Then why don't you take the Lions as your upset? If you think the Lions are going to win, why won't you just take the Lions as your upset pick?
The spread wasn't favorable enough for me. I don't want to see a big boy spread.
Here's what you got to realize. So you're not picking the Bengals to beat the Packers, right? You think the Packers are going to win by 14, but you'll get the cover. That's 1 point. If the Lions win, that's 3 points.
You yell at me whenever I don't take a big enough spread for you,
I'm just saying the math. I'm just telling you the math.
If that's the case, then why do you yell at me for the other times, man? I don't know.
I just joke about you. I just yawn.
If that's the case, then give me the Lions then for my upset pick. Can I change that or no?
Well, I don't care.
Okay.
Well, if you could tell me the line, though, that would be very, very nice.
2.5.
Okay, good. As long as it's not over 3.5, I'm okay. Thank you. I just joke about you. Some of us takes big swings. Because I'm picking the Browns at 6.5, but I'm also picking them to win. I'm doubling down. I'm not playing for a 1-point cover. That ain't how we play. We hammer Don over here. Anyway, Bills Falcons, double Monday Night Football. Double header.
I hate it so much.
These games are decent though. They'll be fun to watch.
The games are fine, but double Monday Night Football I think is stupid.
Yeah, let's get more team. ESPN deal, man. They're paying a lot of money for it. Bills Falcons. This is in Atlanta. Bills coming off a loss. I'm gonna take Josh Allen and the Bills to bounce back here in a big way. Michael Penix has one win when the other team scores 7 points. It came against the Commanders, I believe, in their last game. I don't think they played last week. They're coming off a bye, right?
Yeah. The Falcons, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I thought. But nope, I'll take the Bills here. I think they're gonna bounce back here and get the win.
Justin Fields actually has not won a game when the other team scores 21 points. It's actually
I said 7 points for Michael Penix,
no, I know,
not 21
but Penix hasn't played nearly as long as Fields, so I think it's
Chris, he has 1 win and 4 losses when the team scores more than 7 points.
I know, but I think it's interesting that Justin Fields has been in the league for a long time and still not won a game if the opponent scores 21 points.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with the Bills. However, if the Bills won, maybe I'd pick the Falcons. However, I'm not going to mess with it. Just give me the Bills.
Man, you're not going to ride with your boy Michael Penix.
I do like. It's not even Penix that I like. I love Bijan Robinson. I think Drake London is great, and I think Kyle Pitts is very good.
Just interesting. That Bills defense has not been good this year.
No, it has not, and I'll be very happy for fantasy.
But I think the big thing people aren't talking about when I hear a lot of people talk about Josh Allen in a dome, he's good in a dome. He's really good in a dome. So, yeah, but we're both rolling with the Bills. Last game, it's a fun game. Bears-Commanders in Washington, rematch of the Hail Mary game last year.
Former 1 versus number 2 pick.
Yep, 1 versus 2. Year 2 for both of them. Caleb's really coming into his own. Jaden missed some games, came back last week, 127-10. I think it'll be a really good game. Before last week, I actually had the Bears winning this game. But after what I saw against the Chargers, I think there's confidence there. They're slowly getting healthy, slowly getting back, so I am going to roll with the Commanders to beat the Bears.
I am as well. I'm afraid we might have agreed too much on these weekly picks.
We actually, in the 1 o'clock hour, we barely agree.
Really?
Let's see, 1, 2, 3. We have 4 where we differ, which is the usual. That's usually how it works.
Okay. Well, I actually almost picked this for my upset pick, but I really don't want to just pick. I don't think the Bears are going to win. So even though they might cover, I didn't want to do that. So I'm also going to take the Commanders. I think the Commanders are going to win a field goal. And I think 3.5 too much.
It's the fact you said. I
know, but
the Bears are going to cover, but I didn't want to pick them because I don't want to play that they're just going to cover.
When it's a 4.5 point spread,
you
Adam,
have 14.5 to do, like, I'm playing the cover.
14.5, you have to play the cover, Adam. That's crazy.
That's boring. That is boring.
No. But Commanders here favored by 4.5. I think that's a decent bit, but Jaden Daniels looks really good. His pass last week to Luke McCaffrey was one of the best throws I've seen, and Jaden Daniels was the first came back from injury. He looked really good. Beat the Chargers. I like the Commanders a lot.
Yeah, I don't like Luke McCaffrey.
What's their record now? Were they 3-2? The Commanders?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, they're 3-2.
Yeah,
I'm curious to see how the standings this year are gonna be very weird, considering that the Chiefs got off to the slow start of 2-3. I think the Chargers are gonna plummet. But the Broncos 3-2. The whole NFC, the AFC South is all wonky as well.
I saw a Bills fan saying, "I swear to the Lord, if we don't get the 1 seed in our matchups against the frickin' Chiefs and we lose in the wild card round," they said I might be done. They said I might be done. That'd be wild if that's how the Bills season ends. They get like the 2 seed, have to play the 7 seed Chiefs in Buffalo, and the Chiefs upset them again.
What's good for the Bills is there's not really a lot of other contenders to win the 1 seed. You have the Steelers,
the Colts, Jags.
It could be the
AFC
Colts
South.
or the Jags, but I don't see an AFC West team doing it. So it's really just the AFC South. Who would have thought?
Yeah, I mean, the Steelers, I guess, if like the whole AFC North bottoms out. No, but that'd be if the whole AFC North just bottoms out.
Yeah.
It's just going to be the Steelers and nobody else.
Yeah.
Like, that would be.
And the NFC, I think, is a lot closer. Even the Packers are 2-1-1. Vikings are 3-2. Bucks are 4-1. Niners 4-1. Seahawks 3-2. Rams 3-2. Commanders 3-2.
Yeah.
There's a lot more in the middle there.
Oh, yeah. There's a lot of teams over on the NFC side. But that's going to do it. As Chris said, we have 4 differing opinions. You don't like to talk about baseball, but I'm all in right now. So, who do you think is going to win the World Series now that you've...
I don't know.
I've got you all the way to the ALCS. You just take it home.
Mariners.
Now that's just mean. Come on, Chris. That's
I want to root
mean.
for a team that always is bad.
Well, Toronto hasn't been much better. Like,
They've won a World Series.
In 1993.
The Mets haven't won since 86. The Mariners have never won.
Yeah, but like it's not like you're talking like, oh, the Blue Jays have won a World Series. Yeah, 1992 and 93, they went back to back, and then they canceled the season the next year.
Every team should win once every 30 years, which sounds crazy because you're like, if my team only won once every 30 years, that's a terrible drought. Well, that's what would be perfectly fair. And the Blue Jays have won within the last 30 years. They won 29 years ago, Adam. It's not their turn yet.
What math are you doing?
96 to 20.
93 is when they won the
Oh, he
World
said 93.
Series.
That's the 96. I
I
confused
was
the
gonna
86.
say, I'm like, we're past 30 years.
Well,
but-
Adam, 32 years. They're pretty close to what they should be. The Mariners are way overdue.
No, screw the Mariners. Look, Mariners have a tough one. They beat Scooble in Game 5 here, so they're not gonna be
Overrated.
easy. You would take him in a Mets jersey in a heartbeat.
Obviously, I would, Adam.
Uh-huh,
Man could dream.
Overrated, but I would love him in a Mets jersey. Classic New York fans. I love New York fans right now. They really like to talk.
The only other thing worse than New York fan?
What?
Philly fan.
Well, I'm not a Philly fan, so I don't know why you're coming at me.
No, I know. I'm not going at you. I'm just saying in general. I think I'm kind of scared because one of the traits developing with this podcast is my disdain for the Eagles. Philly fans don't like it, Adam. Or Philadelphia fans don't like it, Adam. The Eagles fans don't like it very much.
Yeah. But look, that's all you. I'm beloved in Philadelphia.
Well, we'll see how it goes tomorrow.
Yes.
We'll have a nice Eagles.
But here's what I do have a question for you. Penn State Northwestern. Who wins that game this weekend?
I hope Penn State. If not, Franklin's fired.
Yeah, he's not fired. Doesn't matter. I think he could lose out and not get fired, Chris.
Really?
It's financial. I told you it's $56 million.
They have a lot of money. They'll be fine.
Chris, they got to pay the roster $20 million.
They'll be fine. They have money galore. Just charge everyone.
Chris, I think you're underestimating how much money Penn State actually has. So, they're building $1 billion stadium, and they're also paying a hockey player I went to watch say Gavin McKenna is phenomenal. I know Penn State lost to Clarkson today. Gavin McKenna is phenomenal. Hockey season started. Preds are 1-0. Chris doesn't have a hockey team, so
I don't have hockey anything.
Yeah, but I'll end this with basketball news for you. LeBron's out 3 to 4 weeks.
Great.
Wow.
Really excited for LeBron's final year to start like this, Adam. I'm devastated.
It's not his final year. Did you see someone suing him?
Yeah, and I agree. Honestly.
No, you shouldn't. You're telling me you didn't see that was a clear advertisement?
I thought he was going to say it's his final season.
No, it was obvious. Like when you watch the second decision tomorrow at noon, you look at the reporter. That's not a real reporter. You knew it right away. It's like you'd think if he was retiring, he would get a real reporter he actually likes to sit there and talk to.
I thought it was going to be him announcing his retirement for after the season. And honestly, then if you are a person who sees that and you're just going to think it's a thing and you go to buy a ticket, the Lakers should have then upcharge you.
They didn't. It was resale market.
Same shebang.
Well, you can't control what other people are selling their tickets for.
But
it was season
all
ticket
the tickets
holders
were
selling.
gone and going that high because they thought it was LeBron's last game.
Well, yeah, but that's not the Lakers' fault.
So LeBron, I think, to avoid this lawsuit, has to now retire this year.
No, he does not. He does.
Not. He owes the fan.
You don't even want him to retire this year, so I don't know why you're complaining.
The moment LeBron retires, that's like a huge storyline that I'm always interested in. Gone.
Yeah, the guy's awesome. So I mean,
I don't think there's anyone in the NBA that is going to be at that level ever again. The moment that they're in high school, we're debating them or Jordan.
No, that's never going to happen again.
So it's just sad for me, Adam. It's sad.
It's also because the best players in the league aren't from America anymore. So that's also
we'll do a nice NBA preview soon.
Yeah, next week, Wednesday. Did you forget when I had it scheduled?
I definitely forgot.
Yeah, I figured. But no, we hadn't talked in a week though. It's been a while, so it's been nice to see.
But
how was the wedding? How was the wedding?
Good times, man.
I saw pictures.
Yeah. Then I came home, went apple picking.
Yeah. Oh wow, apple picking on a Sunday. Was it
was a Monday.
Sunday? Oh my, that's dangerous, man.
Why?
Apple picking during football
Listen, I don't
season?
eat apples, but I actually did because they actually looked pretty cool. So
apple picking during football season.
Listen, this was like the first, last week was like the least amount of football I've ever watched, so I'm happy to be back this week.
Yeah, but it's been a fun week. Chris is celebrating Philly's demise, not just with the Eagles, but with a crazy error from the Phillies that I'm just looked up and they're showing on TNT. I guess the Brewers-Cubs game just ended. It's been fun. It's been fun to be back. We'll be back with you. What's up?
You know Sister Jean from Loyola, the basketball?
Yeah, she retired. She passed away.
Yeah.
I knew she retired 2 weeks ago.
When you
So,
said retired, I thought that was a really pleasant way of saying it. But
no,
106 years old.
phenomenal. It was a
Yeah.
heck of a story. I'll never forget 2018. They lost to a Michigan team I was a big fan of. Love John Beeline. But nah, Loyola Chicago was a great place. So rest in peace, Sister Jean. We'll always love you. We'll always respect you and everything you've been able to do for the sport of basketball and the school of Loyola Chicago. She grew a lot of loyalty to that school.
Yeah.
So
It's always like a fun thing that emerges from college basketball. It's just like the fun
yeah,
things that happen in the storyline. So that's nice.
yeah,
And we're going to end it here because I'm tired and I want to go to bed.
man, I gotta
But
work tomorrow. So
I do too, Adam, plowing the fields.
you're doing what?
I'm going to the fields with the machine and plowing the field.
Are you actually doing that?
Yeah, I'll show you the video of the machine. Don't worry.
Okay.
So
cool.
usually people do like a little icebreaker at the beginning of the podcast, but
Yeah, we
I
talked
kind of
about
like doing it at the end
baseball.
so that people could just sign off, and then if you're a real one, you got to see me. There I am. So that's that. I was driving it to the field where
Who's
then I
got
was.
you on that?
It's family, man. We got
Which
we're working.
which side? I'm asking.
My
Which,
mom's
like,
side.
ah,
I was
Is it-
helped build the other day. Now
was it Jim?
yeah.
That's what I was asking. I didn't know if it was Jim helping you. Good
Well,
for you.
obviously.
Good for you. I didn't know because I knew Jim did construction, but I didn't know if he did the landscape.
You know, these like weeds are like 5 feet tall, and I'm just driving through in this machine, and it's just cutting it all down.
No, fun to see. Good for you, Chris. Good for you. Good for you. Happy for you, buddy. That sounds like a lot of fun. That's going to do it. Please make sure to give a follow, subscribe to the channel. Go check out all our social media plays, YouTube Shorts, Instagram Reels, TikTok. Check it all out. It's been a lot of fun. We're glad to be back with you. We missed on Monday. We're back today. We'll have an episode coming up on Monday. And then, of course, as we said, an NBA special coming out on Wednesday. And then we're back to our regularly scheduled program. That's going to do it for my partner, Chris Reynolds. I am Adam Sheets, and thank you for listening.